This uncertainty adds to the already narrow portrayal of the principles as principally risk management measures.
How do you evaluate risk? You have the arithmetic of risk assessment. You also have the abilities for what you call environmental information. How do you collect information? How do you analyze this? For a project, what are the criteria that you will need to put in place? And if you say project A, assuming that a bank has invested X amount of money in project A, and suddenly 2 months, 3 months after committing this money to project A project that they assume will last for about, call it 6 months or it could be longer, and something happened. Call it act that you and I have no control on. It could be simple, like what happened in the case of 2012 in Nigeria on this flood thing. Who is going to bear the consequences of this? So I think these are some of the issues, in my view, that we need to look at. We also need to look at the issue of the social. The social element is key, what we call the social footprint. It's also very significant. If you're going to set up a factory that is going to impute on the health of people, are we just going to fold our arms and allow this to happen? How many Nigerians or industries will do what you call an effective evaluation or analysis of environmental impact assessment? Some of them you don't have control. But even what about those ones that you have control? So I think to an extent, one needs to commend Nigerian banks for doing this. Having said that, there are a lot of challenges. One is culture. Our culture is such that we don't like to do things right. Our culture is such that if you're an investor, the bank say, come and do this, come and do this. Oh, it will cost me more to do this. But we are forgetting that if education is cheap or free, then you have a choice, try ignorance.
There are opinions that the sustainability agenda is a subtle ploy by Western institutions to make emerging market firms to be uncompetitive. These views, no matter how far-fetched, tend to position commitment to sustainability as a strategy that could be dropped when the enabling conditions are no longer feasible.
Our banks, they also need to change their attitude. I feel sympathetic to them because you can only lend what you have. And in a situation where everybody is expecting quick return today, in the case of sustainable principle and investment, it is not. Because we need to bring so many factors into equation. I talk about the risk, I talk about the social, I talk about the environmental, and even the economic issues. So these are key issues, in my view, that we need to address. Education is key. We need to move out more to let people know what we are talking about, apart from educating them, apart from educating the operators and even the business people. Do they know what we are talking about? Then also we need to look at a regulatory framework. This is the time has come that we must have inclusion. And that inclusion is not just for the bankers. It's for the savers, depositors, the regulators, people in government, the legislators. You see, legislation is key into what we are doing. So we need to carry everybody along with us.
The attitude of the Nigerian banks toward the adoption of the principle, many say, is not new. They claim that the business community often speaks of commitment to sustainability as a strategy, a practice or set of activities. This view of sustainability is visually powerful and attractive. As a strategy, it can offer opportunities to manage risks, explore opportunities, and adapt to changing business contexts and expectations for long-term success. Appending strategy to sustainability and the exploration of sustainability as a strategy, experts believe moves it away from being a fluffy business issue to a strategic objective. What is often missing is the view that corporate commitment to sustainability is more than a strategy. It is first and foremost an organizational orientation committed to reducing its negative impact and increasing its positive impact on its different stakeholder groups. It is about creating shared value, win-win outcomes for business and society.
I don't believe that sustainability will result in any additional cost. It will even save money. I mean, it's good for business. Because, for instance, let's look at the largest source of greenhouse gas emission is electricity generation. And in Nigeria, we spend a lot of money in using fossil fuel-based generators to provide electricity. Okay, if you imbibe sustainability, you will be looking at renewable sources of energy, such as solar. And by doing so, you will even be saving money, as well as saving the environment, and also not causing diseases to, and reducing the burden of diseases within the country. Then another one is transportation, which is the second largest source of greenhouse gases. And what we are trying to promote is that people should reduce the number of times they travel. People should reduce how they commute to work, by co-riding, co-commuting, and also to reduce our business travel by introducing technologies like teleconferencing and video conferencing, which will make us achieve, the same result by traveling or even combining trips.
Experts in the sustainable business are warning that, unfortunately, the Nigerian business environment, like most developing country markets, is particularly characterized by poor governance and weak consumer voice, which will in turn have implications for the success or failure of the longevity of the Nigerian sustainable banking principles. The launch of the principles is a major step forward, they claim.
Let us integrate the process of climate change into our development process. Let us have a short-term, a long-term, and a long-term program. And within this, we start to look at what are the challenges, what are the business opportunities. And when you talk about whether this thing is expensive or not, let me mention, I've been involved in this process for over 20, 30 years. I've been on the Business Council for Sustainable Development. I've been on all sides and so on. What are the business challenges? What are the business opportunities? Those are the issues we should be looking at. Our business people we should start to sit down and work as a team. Anytime you talk about this, some people feel, well, what is it all about? Let me get this quick return. But we now realize that quick return does not help us anywhere.
Even though more needs to be done to create an enabling environment for sustainability to thrive and bear meaningful fruit, the banks that are truly committed to sustainability will seek to create the change they desire and not play victims of weak institutional context.
The capacity building, we set the tone at the top, and then we cascade down to the employees within the bank. We also need to engage with the customers, because they need to understand. For instance, if somebody brings a request for a loan to do a business, that person should be able to understand that he needs to incorporate environmental and social issues in that proposal. But if that person does not do that, it doesn't mean that the bank will not do business with that customer. It means that the bank will now look at the provisions within the sustainable banking principle and advise the customer so that they can make informed decisions by incorporating what is required of them as far as environmental and social issues are concerned into that proposal.
So in a way, you're a businessman, you must think of the environment.
Yes, you must think of the environment, and you must think about the social issues such as gender and diversity, human rights, labor rights, etc.
International Finance Corporation, a member of the World Bank Group, in May 2013, signed an agreement with the Nigerian Central Bank to support the implementation of standards, policies, and guidelines for environmental and social best practices in the Nigerian banking sector, with the aim of promoting sustainable and inclusive growth of the Nigerian economy. As part of the agreement, International Finance Corporation will train central bank staff on how to supervise the financial sector in the implementation of the Nigerian Sustainable Banking Principles and Sector Guideline. And that is all we have time for today. I am Ayola Kasim, inviting you to join us next time when we open Erathfile and discuss another issue of the environment. From all of us here, do have a nice day.